Hey guys, this is the Transparent Uber. This is going to be actually my first video in my Debunking the Uber Propaganda playlist. I'm finding that there's actually quite a lot of misinformation out there in regards to Uber earnings, card appreciation, like what your actual pay is and all that stuff. And this is one of those videos that I really I feel compelled to respond to because it's missing the mark so much that this it has to go into the propaganda realm. Okay, now this is a video by Jermaine Ellis. I am not out here to bash Jermaine Ellis. He has some good content out there. I have watched other videos of his, and I must say that he's a likable guy. I like him. I like his channel. Subscribe to him. This in no way is going to demonstrate that he is, like a bad person or anything like that. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. But his premise and his methodology for calculating some of this information is pretty bad, and it's very misleading. So let's just get started.
What's up, YouTube?
Okay, I must say I really like that intro. Like that's solid. That's really good. I'm gonna have to try to get something like that on my channel.
Jermaine back for another video, and in this video I'm gonna show how some Uber rides could literally cost you money. Alright? And I'll show you proof. This is third grade math. Here we go. We're gonna go to Uber app here, and I have a location set from this Emeryville to San Francisco Airport. I'm gonna go over here to Google Maps. Let's check and see the distance. This is 22 miles total. It's gonna take 23 minutes total. Let's see what the payout would be. Now I can't see what the payout would be, but this is the price that would be billed to the customer. Let's take this high number, the 44. The information that we have now is it's going to take us 33 minutes to complete this trip.
Okay, so far he's making the claim that some Uber rides will cost you money. Okay, like scare face. Like, oh no, that sounds pretty bad. I mean, not every Uber ride is going to be as profitable as another, and that's just life, okay? Just like if you open up a snowball stand in the wintertime, you're not going to be expecting to make a lot of money. You have to play the game. You have to know how to play the game. Now, the second point here. Trip A to B is 22 miles. This is a hypothetical scenario. He's testing it in his rider app to calculate how much it's going to cost. Trip A to B is 22 miles. That's like the premise here. But he just decides to throw in the fact that, oh, maybe the Uber driver wants to go back to the location that they came from. And now, this is where it gets extremely problematic and just downright wrong. You don't get to choose these things in life, okay? If I'm working in a restaurant as a server and a table comes in and they want to have 4 people and they are all ordering, water, and they want to split a couple entrees, who am I to tell them, like, you can't do that? It's not my job. Maybe the restaurant has a policy, but you have to take the good with the bad. And also, this whole thing about going back to where you came from, that makes no sense to me. Okay, like, honestly, that is kind of just a weird way of thinking about being an Uber driver. There's this thing called cross-training in other jobs. Okay, so let's say you're a cook in a restaurant and you start as like the salad person. And so when the manager says, oh, hey, Jermaine, you're doing a really good job making salads. I really like your work. I really want you to step up. I want you to also be able to make pizzas. I also want you to be able to make desserts. So you come in, you know, tomorrow, we're going to cross-train you on these other two areas of the kitchen. Jermaine's going to say, well, what if I just don't feel like making pizza and I don't feel like making desserts and I just want to stay in my little salad realm? Well, of course, that's going to restrict your ability to make more money. It's going to restrict your upward mobility. It's not going to make you look very good in the eyes of management. Now, sure, this is a decision that you can make, and they're probably not going to fire you just because you don't want to get cross-trained on multiple areas, but the manager may cut your hours a little bit. They might find somebody else that they can replace you with that is more flexible. So you can't just magically make this trip A to B 44 miles. No, like when you end up at the new location, you stay there and you keep driving at that new location. And also, it's not even so clear cut as that, is that if you end up in point B and you want to go back to point A, many times you don't have to go all the way back to the exact starting point. You just have to go a little bit back until you find new civilization where there's businesses and bars and things like that, if you happen to be taken out in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so this has been completely debunked. It's akin to propaganda to just make up these magical numbers. Okay, now if this is how you do Uber, you know, more power to you. This is your decision, but let it be known that you're not maximizing your profits here. Okay, so I already took care of that. It is a 33-minute ride, okay? It is not a 66-minute ride. That is just ridiculous. I'm sorry. I like you, Jermaine, but that's ridiculous, okay? I don't understand how you can even suggest that you're doubling everything. I mean, are you just like really trying your hardest to get this down to like $5 an hour? As you see, is Uber a scam? Like, no, it's not a scam, guys. 33, so we're gonna use $44, and we're gonna just continue the video.
And this trip is a total of 22 miles. Now that's not all of it, because let's say this driver wanted to stay in Oakland. This is gonna be a round trip of an hour plus. And here,
so this is actually the point where he's suggesting that you're going to go back to Oakland, so he starts to double everything. I may have actually gone on my little diatribe here a little bit early. That's just because I've already seen the video. So yeah.
add 22 to that, we're gonna have a total of 44 miles that this person has driven to drive this other person. Let's say it costs $44 to drive from Best Buy in Oakland to San Francisco International Airport.
Okay, let's continue.
App just showed us roughly $44. But the driver's not gonna get $44 because there's a series of cuts that's gotta come out. There's tolls, there's the airport drop-off fee, and there's also Uber's 25% fee, and there's the Safe Rider fee.
Okay, so apparently there's a series of cuts. There's the toll fee, there's the Safe Rider fee, there's the airport drop-off fee, and then there's also the 25% cut fee. Now, I just looked these up. You can see I have the tabs here, Safe Rides, Uber airports and things like that. The toll fee, they reimburse the tolls now, so we're going to X that out. The Safe Rider fee, they don't do that anymore because there was like a lawsuit. They had to pay like millions of dollars out to that. Now, this is no fault of Jermaine. This actually probably was true a couple years ago when Uber was a little bit more shitty, I guess. But they've since improved things. There's no airport drop-off fee where I am. I just checked my way bill for the last airport drop-off. I didn't get charged anything for that. Okay, so the 25% cut fee, For a long ride, like if let's say it's more than like $10-12 ride, Uber takes probably about 25%. And I mean, different markets have different percentages. But if it's a really short ride, I've noticed actually Uber takes a lot more than 25%. And they give you what they call the minimum fare, which in my area is $3.37, which is kind of a joke. But that doesn't mean that Uber is a joke, because maybe you believe that you should have earned more for the short ride, but also you have to make the same claim that you earned too much for the longer rides, the rides that are like super easy, like you just go from point A to point B, it's like 30 miles, you drive on a highway for 30 minutes, and then boom, you make like $30 to $40 plus maybe a tip. And did you really deserve that money? I mean, that's like the easiest money you've ever made in your life. So it all balances out. Okay, that's why you can't really just rely on the worst case scenarios here. Okay, so I skipped a little bit ahead in the video. It's showing that he's turned the 44 into 35. He took the 25% cut, okay? I have it's 33, but we're gonna still use 35. It's whatever. That doesn't really matter too much. He took the $6 off to make it 29, but as we know now, Uber reimburses the toll fees. There is no safe rider fee anymore, no airport drop-off fee. So in the end, we're gonna keep it at $35 currently. And now let's see what happens after this.
Farther. Now the IRS says it costs 54 cents a mile to operate a vehicle this year, in 2016.
Okay, this is where it gets extremely interesting and also wrong. Just because the IRS allows you to use 54 cents per mile does not mean that that's what it costs you to drive per mile. Okay, so the 54 cents standard mileage deduction includes things like fuel, depreciation of the car, repairs, oil changes, insurance, car washes, tires, etc. Now, in order to calculate your actual expenses, you would have to add up all of these expenses and then figure out the math. So I'm actually just going to do that here. I'm going to pause the video and do that myself. Okay, so we're going to keep this one simple. Let's say you drive about, 55 to 60 hours a week, and you do, let's say, 6,000 miles a month. That's 75,000 miles a year. I have a Toyota Prius, as I've marked down right here. This is extremely lowballing the miles per gallon. Some people can get higher. I personally get less just because I have a heavy foot when I don't have a rider in the car. So you take the 75,000 miles, you divide it by 45 miles per gallon. That equals 1,666 miles. Well, that's the ratio. Now, that's how many gallons it costs you basically for the whole year. Is 1,666 gallons times 2.8, which is a pretty average cost of gas in the country. Okay, well, I mean, in my area it's $2.80. It looks like it's like $2.55 national average, but that's whatever. $4,700 a year that I'm going to be spending in gas divided by 12 equals $400 a month, and I rounded that up from about $391. Okay, so that's a rounded up number. I rounded the 4,700 up as well. So this is like a pretty decent estimate of per month gas costs for a Toyota Prius. Okay, so again, this is extremely easy math here to figure out the depreciation of a car. The initial cost of my 2010 Toyota Prius was $9,000. The initial cost. Now, the resale value after the car hits 200,000 miles is going to be about $2,000, maybe $1,500, maybe $2,200, depending on the condition of the car. So what you're doing is you're not actually paying $9,000 for the car. You're paying $9,000 minus what you are going to sell it for later when you don't want it anymore. And that equals $7,000 that you're paying for the car. I'm dividing it by 18 months because that's about how many months it's going to take for me to go from the original 83,000 miles to the 200,000 miles if I go about 75,000 miles a year. Okay, so it's 117,000 miles for me to match the 83 to 200 range. Like once I reach 200,000 miles, it takes me 117,000 miles, right? And 75,000 miles for the year. So it's roughly 18 months, give or take. And if I take the $7,000 investment into the car and I divide it by 18, that's $400 a month. Now, we're not going to make it $400. We're going to make it, let's say, $500. I'm just going to highball it because of interest rates. You know, this is just like this would be under the condition of a 0% interest, but I'm going to be paying the car off as soon as I can. So for me, it's going to be closer to $400 investment. Okay. Now repairs. Let's say that after about like 150,000 miles or whatever, we do like, or 200,000 miles, we're going to do, let's say, $3,000 in repairs. That's another 3,000 divided by 18. This equals $150 per month extra. Oil changes, let's say you're driving 6,000 miles a month, so you get an oil change every 2 weeks. That's going to be $700 for the year. Insurance is going to be, let's say, $300, or we can just say $400, just highball it here. So that's going to be $400 a month, $60 a month for the oil changes. Car washes, you know, I get one probably every week as of right now. So let's just say $50 a month. Tires, I don't know, like $400 for like a nice new set of tires, and that would be, let's say we go through 2 sets of tires, so $800 divided by 18 is about, it's about another $40 a month in tires, etc. Whatever else you want to just add in here for whatever reason, like, I don't know, we'll just add in another, I don't know why this, oh, okay, that's why. Say another $50. Okay, so I did all the math here. I have a total, now just try to follow along. I added up all these end numbers here, the monthly numbers. Again, I rounded this one up. I added some to this because of interest rates. We added some stuff for, like, you know, whatever, $50 for whatever, car washes, oil changes if you get them every 3,000 miles. $3,000 in repairs for a Toyota Prius. I mean, that's probably highballing it too. Like, I'm really trying hard to find some numbers here that are, I mean, you know, worst case scenarios, and like if you're just unlucky here. Now, the total is $1,650 a month times 18 months, because remember, 18 is the time frame that we're going to have the car, is $29,700. Now, we're going to take the 117,000 miles that it takes us to reach 200,000. We're going to take that mileage, 117,000 miles, and divide it by 29,700, and we get 3.94. That's the ratio of miles per dollar, okay? Miles per dollar is 4 miles. We're rounding it up to 4 miles per $1. And if we just take the inverse of that, it's 25 cents per mile is the actualized result for a 2010 Toyota Prius. Okay, this number is going to change depending on your car and depending on what numbers you feel like you should add into your actualized results. So as you can see, the 25 cents is much different than the 54 cents that Jermaine is using, just because he's using the standard deduction. This could be if you have, let's say, you're buying a Honda Fit for $20,000 new because you want to be an Uber driver and you want to buy a new car for whatever reason. It's going to get worse gas mileage, things like that. You know, the depreciation is going to be a lot higher because you're buying a new car. It might take you longer to pay off as well. So all these plays a factor in your end result here. But that's why you got to be smart about this. If you want to make a profit driving for Uber, you gotta do the right thing. You know, trade your car in, pay your car off, or, you know, trade it in for a Prius. If you don't have a car, get a Prius. Get a car that's already been depreciated, like I did, a 2010 Prius. You know, get like one of the cars that is like the lowest year possible in your market. So we're gonna do 25 cents per mile. Okay, so right here, remember that we started off as a $44 fare. We're multiplying this by we're going to be multiplying it by 0.75 because Uber's taking 25%. That's going to equal $35, depending on the market. We're taking another $5 off, which equals $30. The $5 that I got was the 25 cents per mile times the 22 miles that was the fare distance, okay? Which turns out to be $5. So it's $35 minus 5. $30 is the end result. So remember, we don't have the toll fee, we don't have the Safe Rider fee, or the airport drop-off fee. We do have the 25% cut fee, and we do also have the cost of owning a car fee. Okay, now all of this combined creates $30 profit. That's your take-home money. That's the money that you get to burn, you get to buy alcohol with, send your kids to school with, for one ride. Okay, you drove 22 miles. It was probably highway, so a lot of these costs right here are probably not even as accurate because it's probably not even like pure city mileage, but whatever. And you got $30 for one ride, and it took you 33 minutes, okay? Okay, we are almost done. As you can see here, if we take an hour and divide it by 33 minutes, that means that we get 1.8 33-minute trips per 1 hour, okay? That's the ratio. We're taking the $30 that we earned, our pure profit, and we're multiplying it by 1.8. Okay? So what we're actually getting here is an average of $54 an hour. Okay? There's no magic here. There's no tricks. I didn't do any kind of weird math calculations. This is your hourly pay if you extrapolate it based off the one trip that is being represented in this hypothetical situation. Okay? $54 an hour compared to the $5.24 propaganda that Jermaine is trying to represent in this video here. And now, this video is already at 23 minutes. You can just stop watching now if you want to, but I'm going to just play the rest of Jermaine's video just because I feel like he deserves it. I feel like he put the video out there. You guys can watch the rest of it to see what you think of it. But, I mean, I already did the math here. I already proved it quite reasonably, I believe. So let's just continue watching.
Number, well, we would actually have to times this by the miles driven. Since we drove 44 miles, and since the IRS says it costs 54 cents a mile to operate a car, we're going to have to times these numbers and subtract it from this number. This is going to give us a very, very low number.
So it's going to give us a very, very low number because what he's doing is he's taking the original trip distance and he's doubling it for no reason whatsoever. And then he's using the false 54 cents a mile and using that against the 44 miles that he doubled from the original 22. And he's taken off the toll fee. He's taken off, you know, the other fees that he already mentioned. So, yeah, if you're going to take it from 33 minutes to an hour plus and take it as 44 miles and use the very high 54 cents a mile, you're going to get $5.24 an hour. But that is just embarrassingly misleading. It's just wrong, okay? But again, I'm just gonna keep playing this video out. You get to watch the rest of it.
Times 54 cents will give me $23.76.
You see what he did here, guys. You see this propaganda here.
Guys, now, as you can see, we are left with a very low number. This is $5.24. And this is for, what, 1 hour?
It looks bad. It looks really bad on the video. If you believe it, which you shouldn't at this point.
So this is my calculation. This is what I came up with. Now, is this true in every scenario? Is this true for every single ride? No, this is not true for every single ride.
Okay, at least he put that out there. He says it's not true for every single ride. Thank God. But again, I don't know if he actually believes this is true or if he's just trying to get a video that claims Uber is a scam because it was like popular at the time. I don't know.
If there are bonuses and incentives out there, this would make these numbers look completely different. However, with bonuses and incentives, you usually have to qualify for those, and there's usually stipulations. So, I mean, I can't say that every ride is this way. If you're not getting any bonuses or any incentives, it's going to be pretty dang tough. Now, the thing with this ride is, there's a lot of driving. There was, what, 44 miles of driving. Definitely share this video with drivers who are unaware.
Unaware? Share it with drivers that are unaware of the propaganda that you're trying to spread, Jermaine. Like, again, I like you. I like your channel. You probably have some good information, but this is just not cool. It's just not cool. So I'm going to end the video now. Again, this is the transparent Uber. If you got through this whole video, mad props to you. Subscribe to my channel. Use the referral code that I put in the link because, guys, driving for Uber is great. I'm making over $20 an hour my first 3 weeks. And this is as me being new. You can look at my other videos. You can see the proof that I give you, the $20 plus an hour. And having a 2010 Toyota Prius is a huge bonus because, again, it's only 25 cents per mile. And I mean, I already showed this all to you. So that's all. Leave a comment in my video. You know, check out Jermaine's channel as well. He probably has some other nice content that you can check out. Again, I don't want to bash him. I'm bashing this specific video because it's quite strange to me. Anyway, I'll pick you up next time. Peace out.